Carrie and Tommy will launch in just a second to brighten your day. With CommBank Yellow, you get discounts and exclusive experiences. More recognition for you and benefits for your business too. Say hello to CommBank Yellow today.
It's the one and only
Carrie Bickmore.
And Tommy Little.
This
Is Carrie and Tommy.
Yeah, welcome to another big podcast. How are we today, guys?
Oh, pretty good, Bickers. How are you?
Oh, I'm just disappointed with my morning. I had grand plans and I just didn't do enough with it.
Oh,
Didn't you?
You know, when you have a full list of things to do and then you find yourself in a wormhole online, you're like, what have I done with my life?
what was your wormhole?
Just boring stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
Like what? What's your algorithm at the moment?
Ordering some protein powders.
Oh, my God.
How many
I
did you
bought
get?
protein powder this morning.
Oh, my God.
Did you?
Yeah.
The good
I bought
stuff or
protein
the
powder.
dodgy stuff?
Wait,
Hey?
what's the dodgy stuff?
I don't know. Apparently, you have to be careful about what protein powder because some of it's just got lots of filler and not. I don't really understand it.
Lots of filler?
At my age,
No
I
killer?
got to order different protein powder that's got other stuff in it.
Oh, to keep
I
you
don't know.
regular.
Is it peptides or
Oh.
collagen or I don't know what I'm talking
You're
about.
not.
But
You're not taking peptides.
maybe no peptides.
I
No,
don't think
is
you
there
have peptides.
something a pep something pep?
It's
No. Anyway. I don't know. That's what I spent my morning
Yeah.
doing. I ordered a thing called Age Mate.
something.
It's a special. I scoop it in water in the morning. It's the youth elixir.
Gary, I'm
a
assuming.
wormhole.
You know, you said there was things on your to-do list. I'm assuming one of them was exercise,
Yeah, it was.
and you didn't get to it, but you still ordered the powder that you need to have after exercise. It's really optimism. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is optimism. It is. Anyway, how was your morning?
It was wonderful. I went for a run with a very famous Australian, and I thought he was there to help me. And I think in hindsight, he might have had ulterior motives to joining me on a run. Anyway, we're going to chat to him about it next.
Carrie and Tommy.
Around Australia for your Tuesday afternoon, it is Carrie Bickmore and Tommy Little.
Because it is not long now to the Big 5 marathon. 39 days.
Is it?
Too soon.
Oh, my gosh.
And we are going to be talking to a former pro athlete a bit later in the show who is joining us on the run, which is going to, I'm sure,
Make
me
us feel like we
worse
should be
about
doing
where
more
we
running
are
training.
at.
Yes.
Yes.
How's your training going?
Well, it's going pretty well because, and I went out with one of the premier athletes of Australia this morning, and I want to talk to him about the run that we had together. He joins us now, the one and only Dave Hughes. G'day, Hughesy.
G'day, legends, and I thought you were saying I was the pro athlete. Actually, like I don't know who you're talking to later on, but mate, I'm worried, Carrie. I'm worried.
So
Hughes.
before we go any further, I'm going to give you a compliment and say it's a joke to even say you're a pro athlete or any of those things. But when it comes to running, you are a machine. So I will give you that of all of us on this show right now, you are the best runner. You are so fast.
Thank you. And I'm concerned about Tommy. I'm concerned. 39 days. I don't know if he's going to be ready, Carrie. I don't know if he is.
So he's
honestly.
got to do a full marathon, which is 42. And what's the
Hang
most
on.
you've run?
I ran. Hang on. Now this is turned into a hit piece, which I'm not happy about, to be honest. Hughesy, I said to you that I was going to run. I planned on running a half marathon this morning, and
What was the most you've done before? You're just going to pop out and do a half marathon when you haven't even been training.
no, I've been training.
You've
Why
been
do you keep
sick.
saying this? I've
Because
been
you've
training,
been sick. You keep telling
Yes,
us you
I've
haven't been
been
able to
sick.
train.
but I've been sick for a week. I started training back in February.
You did not.
I did. All Adelaide Fringe. I don't know why you don't believe this.
Because
All
you,
Adelaide Fringe. I ran
you
14K
look
last
like a
week.
mess.
Yeah.
Well, this is hurtful from every angle. But I said to Hughes, I said I wanted to go slow and run about 6-minute Ks. And Hughesy, knowing that Hughesy was only going to join me for 5Ks of it, Hughesy just started running faster and faster and faster. And we were talking, and Hughes, I know it can't have been that easy for you because we were talking, and by the end of it, you were going like this. So, mate, so what else? So, mate, what else is happening?
Yeah, but I was still talking. Generally, when I run, I don't talk at all because it's not talking time. It's running time. You want to talk, you go on a hot girl walk. You want to run, you run. Yeah,
See,
so talking.
I
yeah.
like talking.
Yeah, you're allowed to like talking, but if you want to focus on your running because you got a marathon surrounded by animals that can kill you coming
Yes.
up in under 40 days, you've got to be running and not talking. It's like, and Carrie, he wanted to stretch after about 500 meters. We
I
had to
used that trick
stop for
too.
like 5 minutes so he could stretch. I'm like, what is he stretching? I mean, we're jogging anyway. It's like those calf muscles, I don't know if they're up for it, honestly.
So were you both getting, like when you run with people, because I remember, Tommy, you said you went for a run with Ross Noble and you were just going to try and, like, I think you did this run in the sand or something. And then in the end you said you were just going to go out for a light jog and you said you got super competitive when it began and you just really wanted to, like, is it just innate in men that you just have to beat each other?
Well, I had no plans to try and beat Ross, and then I decided that I had to beat him, and then I couldn't walk for 2 days. He's a very good runner.
So did you beat Hughesy this morning?
Well, so Hughes joined me for 5Ks of it, and then Hughes, I'll have you know that I continued, and you do know this because I sent you the photo, I continued to run another 12, so I ended up running 17 at the same pace that we were running at.
Wow.
And I sent, how's this for a passive-aggressive, I think, message I got back. I sent Hughesy the screenshot saying I'd run 17, and I thought I'd get back. And I thanked him. I said that was a real good kick up the arse, and thank you. And all I got back was, well done. No emojis, nothing. Were you unhappy that I kept running that far?
No, that was a genuine well done, and we're all busy, mate. I'm not going to write an essay back, right? So I was impressed, and I thought well done conveyed that, but I'm very happy that you kept that pace going because I think I did inspire you that you've got more in the tank.
So what's the furthest you've ever run, Hughesy?
14K. You know, I was in a sauna yesterday with young men I didn't know.
The man that just said, we've all got busy lives.
No, but you know what? The point of the story is I'm in a sauna with young men I didn't know. They were talking about running because they'd just done the half Sydney Marathon or something. And I hadn't even said hello to them. And I just said to them, have you ever done the City to Surf? And they said yes. And then I gave them my best time. I said, I did that in 56 minutes and 3 seconds.
Very quick.
13 years ago. And then I just shut up again.
What would you do it in now? Because you're still very fast. You've got it, like, for a man that,
He's very fast.
like, you don't do a lot of other fitness stuff, do you?
No, and I'm a lot lighter than since I got out of the celebrity jungle, I've kept the weight off. So I'm 13 kilos lighter than I normally am. But I haven't been doing much running, and it's honestly, you've got to run hard to get fast, and I haven't been running hard. So I don't know what I'll do it in now, but I'm going to get back into it because, you know what, Tommy's also inspired me today. So, and I can't wait for your jungle run.
You all
it's going to be
inspiring
great.
each other. So what, do you have you got genuine concerns he won't be able to do the full?
I'm worried about his calf muscles. I don't know what.
As am I.
Yeah, I think
that's fair.
He's got to. I don't know what to do. No, in 40 days you can do it, but you've got to focus, man. You've got to focus between now and then. All right. So you've got massive stars coming on this run, and they don't need you being weak. You know what I mean? So, you know, they're going to fly all the way to Africa. They need Tommy Little beside them, not, you know, back at some sort of rest stop because his calf muscles have packed in after 5K. So come on, 40 days, you can do it, Carrie. I know you're doing the half. You're also...
Oh God, now I want you to come, Hughesy. You're so inspiring. You're making me feel inspired.
Well, we'll check the dates. I might be able to come.
I wasn't
I might be able
actually
to
inviting you, but yeah, I just was saying, you know, it would have been nice if you... No, we'll see what we can organise. It would be good to have you there, Hughesy.
No. I know you're full. You're full.
We're not full, but you've also got to raise a bucket load of money, and there's a lot of pressure to raise money. It's very, very hard to raise money, as everybody in our group is finding. It's hard times. No, it really is hard, and it's really hard to ask for money as well. Carrie's beanies for braincancer.com. If you want to throw some money behind the Carrie and Tommy team, we're going to be covering...
It's tax deductible. Is it tax deductible? Would be, wouldn't it?
No, you can all work that up behind the scenes. It's not an on-air chat. And we'll chat off air too about if we can get you there. But for everybody listening, and if you're just sitting in your office not doing anything, you think, God, at least they're giving it a crack. Just even $5. Just throw us whatever you got. We'd really, really appreciate it. We're trying to find a cure for brain cancer. So if you need a reminder why, it kills more children than any other disease, more people under 40. That could be you sitting at your desk now than any other cancer. And most people don't survive 5 years. So $5 would help a great deal.
Really
Yeah.
appreciate you, Hughes.
No, appreciate all of you, especially you two and everyone behind the scenes. Let's just show gratitude in life.
Carrie and Tommy.
Around Australia, if you drive home this Savo, it's Carrie, Bickmore and Tommy Little.
I feel like we should do. Actually, we should do Scat Chat with me. Can you find the Scat Chat music?
We should do Scat Chat with you.
Yes. You know, we normally do it with our guests. And
You
at the
want me to-
very end, we ask the question that,
Oh, my God.
I think we should do it with me.
Time for Scat Chat!
Hey, Carrie.
I'm the guest. Pretend I'm the guest.
That's
Oh,
fine.
hey, Tommy.
Just-
Nice to meet you here at the bar.
Sorry?
Do we need to do all of the run-up questions for this one?
It's up to you. I'm the guest.
Okay.
Carrie, how are you feeling today?
Better than I was feeling yesterday.
Ooh, which brings me to my first and final question.
Are you not going to do any, foreplay?
I don't think we call it foreplay.
Yeah.
I think we just call them questions. Oh, my God.
Sorry.
When you're that sick, should you really be out at a jazz
Or
bar?
doing foreplay. Imagine doing foreplay. So I was going,
Sounds like you don't need to imagine it.
Also, the use of foreplay in what you're about to tell us really makes me wonder.
It does.
Okay, yes. Your
So,
final,
should
first
I
and final
adjust-
question.
Should I adjust the question to your pants or the bed?
What?
Should it be...
No,
when
no,
did
no.
you-
no. It's pants. People
Never
are
heard
so
this segment
confused.
before.
People are so confused. They're like, what are they talking about? So we normally do a segment where we interview guests and we do Scat Chat with them. We ask
Weird that
them
our guest is
questions.
explaining it.
We ask them questions and we get to the end and we ask them this very question.
When is the last time you done shit your pants?
So, last night I went for dinner with my mum.
That's all we have got time for. Thanks so much for coming.
I went for dinner with my mum and we did have a bit of spicy food. It was delicious. Nothing too hectic. I can handle a bit of spice.
Okay.
And I had to then drop my son somewhere
Oh, you had to drop the
afterwards.
kids at the pool.
I had to drop my son off afterwards. So we had a long drive on a freeway. And as I was driving home, and it was about a 35, 40-minute drive, I was like, what's happening down there?
Your son's still in the car.
No, he's out of the car by this point. And I was like, God, something. And I was just starting to feel a bit. I was feeling nervous about what was happening. And then things progressed super quickly, as they often do when you're in a situation like this. And I had to go to the toilet. It was starting to be out of my control, a bit like when you've done colonoscopy prep. It's not something that you can hold in. And so
how far away from home are you at this point?
About 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And I had to decide, and I'd be keen to get your thoughts here about whether I made the right call. I was trying to work out, is it better for me to pull over on the side of the freeway? Because I know you should
No.
never get out of the car on a freeway
That's
Right.
just not a good option for you.
and
So
go on
whatever
the side
other
of the
option is. So no. No, whatever the other option is.
or just go in my pants.
Yep. That's a better option.
Because it was going to have to be one of the two. And then I
You're
looked
one
around
of-
the car to see if I had any
That's
like-
even worse. What?
coffee cups.
Oh my God. The cause and the cleanup.
What was Stephen K. Amos's one in his jumper or something?
Yeah. In his what's it called? Not merle. What's the merino? wool?
merino wool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I then there's nowhere once you get off the freeway in my house. There's not a lot of places in between. So then I thought I could pull over on the side of the road and do it. And again, but you know when you get those gripes, they come in waves, and the waves settled. And I thought I'm good to go here. I've got 5 minutes in me.
Okay.
And
I've
as I
had it
turned
described
around,
as
What?
a man on a ski lift, and so he needs to get off the ski lift. Then if he doesn't get off, he's gone round again, and so you've got about another, yes, as you say, 5 minutes before he needs to get off again, and then he goes round.
and so I was just pulling into my garage and I was like, oh my God. And so I clenched, honestly, I actually think this is so graphic, but I actually think it was already there. Had gone through the passage. And I clenched so hard, but then obviously you have to unclench to walk the distance from your car to the bathroom. So I was doing this walk where you're like,
Were you
going-
waddling?
Oh, the duck waddle.
Yeah.
And I just made it to the toilet.
No, you didn't.
I did. I just made it to the toilet.
You've already said it was out the passage.
No, I mean it was out the bowel area into the chute.
Is your car here today?
You can go check my
No,
car.
I don't want to. I just want
I
to
had
be
it
clear
fully
what to avoid
detailed
in the
this
car
morning.
park. Yeah.
Carrie and Tommy. Carrie and Tommy.
Driving you home from 3 till 6, it is Carrie, Bickmore and Tommy Little.
So, we were just talking about how I nearly didn't make it to the bathroom last night, and it was
Sorry,
pretty.
we weren't.
What?
We were talking about how you shit your pants in the
No,
car
I
driving
didn't.
home.
I didn't. I nearly did. I got to the bathroom just in time, but it was a disaster and it was horrible. But at one point, I was questioning what item in the car I could use as a catcher, and I thought maybe I could use my coffee cup. Was all I could see, right?
Oh, what a disaster.
Well, that's how desperate I was.
Yeah, but
Producer
it's not-
Zoe, what?
The producer would like to be anonymous.
Oh, too late.
I didn't do it.
Producer Zoe just told us what her mum once did. What did your mum
She's
do?
gonna die hearing this. It was a long time ago. It was desperate at times, but we were on the way to school and mum had a moment, so she used my lunchbox.
Oh, on the way to school. So there was
it's
lunch in
full.
it.
She emptied it on the passenger seat. She's going to kill me.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Poor woman.
I mean, whatever
oh my
she's
God,
gonna
that's
do-
So...
The worst part was that I was freaking out. I was in the car, and so I was trying to get out, and she's going, "Don't you dare get out of this car," because there was traffic everywhere.
You stay and watch your mother.
Just sit through it.
Did you get a lunch order though? That would have been a win.
The worst part, she threw it away in the skip bin at the dentist on our way to school, and it had my name labelled on it.
Oh my God, your poor
Sorry,
mum.
Mum, she's going to kill me.
Oh, we all have those moments.
Do we?
Oh, you would have had a moment like that. What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't have kids, so I've never had the opportunity, and hopefully one day I get the opportunity also to take a turd in my kid's lunchbox.
Hey, still to come, your chance to have a year. Why can't I ever say this? A year's worth of free groceries.
Think
It's
of all
because the whole
school
thing's called
lunches.
Live for Free. So I go, your chance to live a year's free of groceries. Anyway, a year's worth of free groceries coming up. Stay with us.
Carrie and Tommy.
Across Australia for your Tuesday Arvo, it's Carrie, Bickmore and Tommy Little.
G'day, the guys want to know. They'd like to check in. It's Carrie and Tommy's. What do you reckon? Reckon.
This is a bit of fun because this is the segment where we get posed a question and then we get to ruminate over the answer before one of our lovely producers gives us the answer. Producer Belle, what have you got for us?
Today, the what do you reckon I have is what do you reckon the average age is currently in Australia? It's the 2022 dates actually because that's the latest stats.
Sure.
2 years ago. Yeah.
That people are giving birth for the first time.
Ooh.
And I also have the stats for 2002, so 20 years before that, if we want to discuss how it may have.
Okay, I reckon the average, so it's definitely getting later. It's getting
Older, yep.
older.
Yeah. I would agree, Carrie. I feel
So-
like, do you think it's getting older? I mean, there's things that people talk about all the time of women wanting to establish careers and stuff more, and so kind of waiting. But also, do you think cost of living and stuff factors in?
Absolutely. I think all of it. Like, you know, I think there's this thing in your head, you think you need to have a house to put a baby in and all those sorts of things. So you need to then have been able to buy a house and settle down. Now, people aren't buying houses now. Some can't ever. And if they are, then well into their
Yes.
30s. So it's pushing everything back. I don't think you need to own a house to have a baby, but I can understand the idea in your head. You've grown up with that idea that what a baby needs. I think it's also more women in the workforce and career, and we all know, and it shouldn't be the case, but we all know that careers and trying to succeed in a career and then stopping to have a baby they're not conducive to, they don't lie nicely together, having a, being on a career trajectory and stopping to then have a baby. And I have no idea what we do about that. And obviously we're changing maternity leave and all. We're doing lots of things to move forward, but I think it is a real conundrum for this generation of women who do want to contribute more and more and also have babies.
Would make it interesting, and I've never thought of this before, but it's just popped in my head, forced paternity leave for both partners.
That would make it interesting.
So even if you didn't want to, you weren't allowed to come into work for whatever it is.
But then that's taking our rights away and, you know, like that gets tricky. I just think daycare's at every workplace. It's tricky for small business, but I think, I just think childcare is the biggest prohibitor. I mean, this is not the chat that we were planning on having, but childcare is the biggest prohibitor to women being able to get back to work and be in the workforce.
I did see a thing the other day that says it's crazy that we fund education once they're hit 5 or 6 is a publicly funded thing, but in the years from 0 to 5, where apparently most of your brain development happens, we're like, figure that out yourself.
But we know we are now funding it, and that the government's more and more committing to more hours of funding younger 3-year-old kinder, 4-year-old
Yeah,
kinder.
right, okay.
Because of that reason.
Yeah.
But it's such a tricky time. The whole thing's tricky. It's such a tricky time because that's the period where you want to be home with your kids. For that development time, but that's often the time you got to get back to work because you got to pay the bills and keep a roof over your head. And then there's other times, I remember a woman once saying to me that the critical time you need to be around for your kids, and when I say around, we're around for them all the time, but really have a lot of face-to-face home time is in their teenage years, because even though they're older and more independent, that's when they emotionally need you. And I found that truer than ever at the moment, having a teenager around. They pretend they don't need you, but they almost want you more. But then if you're looking at a woman about when you choose to have your little career burst, if you do want to have your career burst, how do you do that? And then how do you have subsequent children? The whole thing, there's a reason that there's more men in the top jobs than women because it's so hard.
So 2002, I'm going to say 23, 24?
I would say 27 in 2002.
Okay, well, I'm going to go 27 or 28 in 2020.
And I'm going to go 32 or 33.
Wow. Okay, cool. So in 2002, it was actually 30.2 years old. Yeah.
Gosh, that's so much older than
the
I
median
thought.
age of all women giving birth.
For the first time.
The highest on record. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, having their first children. And then in 2022, it's jumped a year to 31.2 years old.
So it hasn't jumped that much at all.
No, and the country where the mothers are the oldest for the first time is Andorra, and that's 32.8. So
where's Andorra?
I don't know. And South Korea is 32.2. Anyway, so Aussies, we're quite old.
Have you got the youngest there, Belle?
No, sorry.
Sorry, no, that's fine. I was asking for extra stats.
Andorra is a small landlocked country located in the eastern Pyrenees Mountains in southwestern Europe.
I really spread mine out over. I had one at 27, then one at 35, and then one at 38. It was I often think, and every single parenting journey, being at a different age and stage of life was such a different experience. Even from the level of, stability I had in my personal life, the level of money I had, the type of job I had, the way my body had aged. But weirdly also I was doing brachyradia the first time I had a baby. And so even though I was younger, the toll on my body was so much greater than when I had it later. And anyway, it's such a – childbirth is so incredible. Parenting, being a mum, it's such a – it's it's a gift,
Carrie and Tommy.
Around Australia for your Tuesday, Arvo. It's Carrie, Bickmore and Tommy Little.
With CommBank Yellow, you score even more. More recognition for you and benefits for your business too. It's their way of thanking you for banking with CommBank. Ongoing eligibility and T's and C's apply.
Carrie and Tommy's live for free.
Carrie and Tommy's live for free.
Now that we've got Carrie and Tommy's live for free.
Oh, a year's worth of groceries would change lives. I've got one of the entrants here we're going to call first. Can I just read you what she has said before we call her? Because this reminds me why. Please pick
I know,
up.
but you're not meant to do this.
Why?
Carrie. This is like, you do the same thing when we do other competitions. You're not meant to read forward on the people's stories.
Why? I'm not allowed, or it just doesn't help us?
Oh, no, sorry. I was getting confused with our other one where they tell us a story and we have to
Yes,
stay away.
I'm allowed to look at the people
You're
that have
allowed.
entered.
Sorry,
She said,
Carrie.
as a single mum to 3 beautiful girls, winning a year's worth of groceries would mean so much more. I work hard to keep everything going, but there's not always room for the extras, the fun stuff, the spontaneous moments. This would mean I could say yes more to school excursions, yes to movie nights with popcorn, yes to little things that create big memories. It would give me a chance to give my girls the kind of joys and ease I wish I could give them every day. These are the sort of lives we want to help at the moment. Can we call the number
better-
now?
Better
Please
hope she
answer.
picks up
Just
and
rang.
says, yellow.
We're dialing.
Come on.
Yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle, yellow.
Yellow.
I
Yellow,
was just
Michelle.
reading your entrance, your beautiful woman. Oh. It made us very, very teary, Michelle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it does make sense because you can say yes a little bit more.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle, you're one step closer to a year's worth of groceries.
That's pretty exciting. I
When's the
can't
last
believe
time
that
you-
my heart is beating so quick right now.
When's the last time you won something, Michelle?
A couple of years ago. So,
What'd you
Yeah.
win?
I actually, the Ed to London thing.
Did you come to us with that?
I came to London with you guys.
I didn't remember. Oh my God, Michelle, I'm so sorry we forgot that.
No, I remember. Michelle, you're the one with the hair, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I've got it. I remember
And I
you,
wore
Michelle.
clothes. Yep, that's
yeah,
me.
God, we had a good time together. Well, let's hope we can do it again, Michelle.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
We're going to make some more calls tomorrow, so go and register, download the Listener app and search Carrie and Tommy. With CommBank Yellow, you score even more recognition for you and benefits for your business too. It's their way of thanking you for banking with CommBank. Ongoing eligibility and T's and C's apply.
Carrie and Tommy. Carrie and Tommy.
Around Australia, if you drive home, it is Carrie, Bickmore and Tommy Little.
You've got a great head of hair. Look at that hair.
Stop hitting on. Stop hitting on.
No, but look at it holding its form like that.
He's just got in here.
Put a bit of glue in it.
You've got some real height going on.
You're,
Sorry.
You're sick and you're sleazy.
I'm
And
not. In fact, I'm so lovely with our next guest. I told him I wouldn't give him a kiss and a cuddle hello because I've got a bit of a sniffle. Would you please welcome Trent Cotchin?
Cotch, how are you?
Pretty good, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
I
having me.
found out something I never knew about you. I just watched your chat that you did with Carrie on her Instagram for the upcoming run to raise money for brain cancer research to try and save lives in the future. And I had no idea that you had a tumour in your head.
Well, I don't think many people outside of kind of my inner circle knew. So my wife, Brooke, I'm not even sure my kids knew. And then both of our parents probably. So I've kept it quiet probably because, I am one of the lucky ones. And as we discussed on that video, there's a lot of people that receive that call that's very different news.
So
And
yours is benign.
Mine is benign.
Yep.
It's actually reduced in size. I get it checked semi-regularly just to make sure that there is no changes. But I'm one of the fortunate ones. And I suppose a big reason as to why we're taking on this amazing challenge with the team for Carrie's Beanies for Brain Cancer is because, you want to change what that experience is for those people and kind of create hope in their world.
I understand now not talking about it because you feel so fortunate and it's not malignant, and now, especially working in the brain cancer space, you understand what the diagnosis of people with malignant tumours is. But at the time, it's still a huge thing to discover. How do you not just like...
Blech.
Exactly. Why? How are you not going, oh my God, I've got a thing about, like, to keep that, is that say more about who you are as a person, that you're quite a quiet kind of
Yeah, I think so. Like
life private?
I don't really like any kind of attention. And I suppose I probably didn't realise the significance of what my wife Brooke was going through at the time and what she might have been thinking. We had our second child on the way. I remember speaking to my mum on the phone, and she was kind of like very concerned when we didn't know whether it was good, bad, or otherwise. But I think what I've learnt now, having shared that story, is the way that it connects to people that have either been fortunate or unfortunate, but realising just how much of a positive impact you can have by putting yourself out there and having conversations with people that do want hope. And that's what we're trying to achieve by going over there and raising as much money as we possibly can to help with research.
I'm so glad that you're on board. We've got a look at the list. We've got a list. We've got an AFL superstar. We've got a pro surfer. We've got a stylist. We've got a comedian. Who else have we got? I'm trying to think of as if we were doing Dancing with the Stars. They like to have one from every camp, and you are our AFL footballer.
I've got questions about this because, Cotch, I've done one and only marathon before, and it was with the great Campbell Brown, former AFL great.
I believe this was in Antarctica.
That's correct, yes. But I think the difference between you and him might be, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this because I've said it to his face, he's not the greatest runner. And
neither am I.
Are you not? Because I saw you in that video and you were running at a fair clip.
Yeah, that was for a video. Where...
To be fair, we filmed him in 10-second bursts. Did you put a bit of pace on that?
We said, let's do a couple of 100-metre sprints just to make it look like you're running at a good pace. But it's funny because, I mean, for me, I'm going over there with no expectations from a time point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not? Because every man on this team is.
There's a part of me that knows where I want to be from a time point of view.
Of course you know.
Then, like I spoke to Sam McGuan, a good friend of all of us here.
It's his fault we're doing this, by the way. Yeah.
And I said, mate, when you proposed this idea to me, there wasn't like any conversation around this first hill that we need to climb. I think it's called Hang Lip Viewpoint.
Carrie said it was flat.
Yeah.
I did tell people
he said,
it
well,
was flat.
I've been explained that it's the equivalent of gradient 9 on a treadmill. And I'm like, that's practically like climbing a rock face.
I've read that you can't run that part for the 1.5 Ks, and some people have trouble walking
it. But if I get up that, I'll be happy to roll down the hill after it. So,
have you run a marathon before?
No. I plan on running 18 to 20 kilometres this Saturday, and that'll be the furthest I've ever run in one kind of go. So,
excuse my ignorance, but surely as a player, AFL player, and I don't even know what position you were in, and I'm embarrassed that I don't know that. But doesn't that mean you're covering Ks in a game? So surely running isn't that unnatural for you.
Have you seen me run? I'm very hunched over. It's very unnatural.
Okay.
I've been chasing a footy around my whole life. It's very different to marathon running. But, yeah, look, I would say some of the best or most capable midfielders in the competition would cover maybe between 15 and 17 kilometres in a game. I was probably more like 12 or 13.
So it's
like
just
Campbell Brown.
Yeah. It's just like doing 4 games back to back.
Yeah, 4 games back to back. That sounds really easy, actually.
Trent, up next, I'd like to ask you about the year that you found out about the pituitary gland tumour, because you've told me it was also a very challenging year for you as captain of Richmond as well. Can we do that up next? Let's do that up next.
Carrie and Tommy driving you home this afternoon, and we are still joined by Richmond champion Trent Cotchin.
When you spoke in the clip, the interview we did together, you were talking about the year that you found out about the pituitary gland tumour was one of the worst years. It was a train wreck of a year from a professional point of view, and you were talking about how everyone was saying you were the worst captain in the AFL. I think it was your coach, Dimmer, was the worst coach. There was a board coup going on. Obviously, when a team's flying, being the coach of a team, it must be one of the greatest feelings in the world. And when they're not flying, it must be one of the worst. Do you have a real choice whether you become captain? Or is this a situation where you put your hand up and you gun for it, or people come to you and you have to think, do I want this job?
That's a good question. I think there would be people who want for a role like that. And I remember my dad saying to me back in the day, you want to make every post a winner, and being the leader of a team is that is making a post a winner. So I always felt like that was something I would love to do, but it's a big responsibility to take on. Particularly, I was 22 when I was named captain.
Gosh.
So very young, hence why I've got lots of grey hairs now. But yeah, it's a good question. And furthermore to being coach of a team that's winning a lot, I don't even know if it's that good when you're winning, let alone when you're losing. Like there is so much stress, and you're only one game away or bad performance away from everyone turning on you. So I don't know if it's as good as some people might think.
I just admire the discipline, because when you said in that clip, the team Richmond, you slipped to 13th on the ladder and you get labelled the worst captain in the league. The discipline to not scream at the top of your lungs, I've just won 3 premierships, you pricks. Like, how?
As in after the fact?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't before that.
Oh, was this pre?
Yes, pre, yeah. So
yeah, no, you don't have as many bullets in the gun then.
I didn't have too many legs to stand on at that stage. But it is hard. Like,
yeah.
I look at it now and how much media attention there is on players and the scrutiny, and I get that that's people's roles, and sometimes their opinions are probably right. Like, I reflect on my journey, and there's so many where I was probably taken aback by it, but then you reflect on it and you're like, maybe I was doing a pretty average job at that stage.
God, you're a decent man.
And one of my favourite sayings now, and it's only upon reflection and in hindsight, but is that often from your darkest times comes your greatest growth or lessons. And 2016 for me was a year where I grew in many ways, whether that be as a footballer, as a captain, a leader, father, husband. Still got lots of room for growth, but yeah, I suppose if you can have that perspective, it does help you with progressing in life.
Do people come up to you during those crappy times, literally strangers, and abuse you or give you their strong thoughts?
I don't think I was ever necessarily abused. I do remember there was a lady that used to help at the Richmond Footy Club. She used to wash our protein shakers and so forth. She had a little dog called Gypsy. And we got out of the car once and I was with Ivan Maric, who was, he might be 2 or 3 years older than me. And she just asked a question. She said, so, Trent, when are you giving up the captaincy and when's Ivan going to be the captain? Like, literally said it to my face. And I was just like, oh, thanks for that. Anyway.
And how soon after did you?
I didn't. I sucked it up and moved on in life. But I suppose everyone's entitled to their opinions.
No, they're not.
So how did you move
one of my
through
favourite sayings is, my father-in-law actually said this to me. He's like, everyone has... opinions are like armpits. Everyone has them. Some stink, some don't.
Oh, because that's not the saying I've heard.
No, what is it?
Opinions are like assholes.
That is also another good saying.
So when you're such a positive, happy, lovely man from the very short time we've spent together, when you're being told you're terrible at your job and you've got all that pressure on you, how do you get through that to then go on and succeed and excel? How do you not throw it all in? Were you a grump to live with?
Well,
or are you, how do you go through that time?
I don't think I was a grump, and I'm very fortunate that I have an amazing wife that's been there right by my side all the way through. I probably was close to giving it up and throwing it all away because I was just in such a crappy place. And that seems bizarre given what unfolds beyond that. But
so why didn't you?
I had conversations with the people that I loved, cared and trusted the most. And one of those people was the coach in Damien Hardwick. We had a conversation and he'd just engaged with Ben Crowe, who's a life coach. And I did the same. And Crowe, who's a really good friend, also helped change my life. And that was just through, implementing some simple tasks like journaling and creating habits that did help me live as positive life, or as he likes to say, win the morning.
Cotch, you're not doing this alone. You just mentioned your lovely wife, Brooke. She's coming over and running with all of us. Running against your wife. Do you want to win, or is that a loss?
That's a very good question. My worry is that she will actually have me covered. She's
a machine.
She loves her training, so she's already kind of wound up and gets in the gym every morning, whether it be from weights or... I think she's enjoyed getting back into running because it wasn't something she was focusing on as much as she's labouring a bit with her foot. But there'll be a little bit of an inner competition there, no doubt about it.
So if you're
But
both,
she's way more mentally tough than I am.
if you're both side by side at the 42k mark,
I'll be pushing her over so the lion eats her first.
Trent, we're so excited that you're doing the Big Five with us. If you want to donate to Trent's portion of our fundraising, cb4bcbig5.com is where you can do that. We'll see you in the South African Safari Park.
Looking forward to it, guys. Good luck through Joburg as well.
Carrie and Tommy.
Driving you home from 3 till 6, it's Carrie, Bickmore and Tommy Little.
so because I live in a artistic part of the world.
An arty-farty area.
Yes, that is correct. So if you
Hipster area.
Yes, if you go down to my local park, you're more likely to see someone practicing tightrope walking than not. Like I was there with a friend the other day and I said, there'll probably be someone tightrope walking. And he goes, what? And I said, there's always people tightrope walking. And he goes, you're not serious. And then I looked up and I went, see? And he goes, oh my gosh. And there was 3 separate groups of people doing
3 in one park.
in one park.
That's so weird.
I know.
That was that same park I drove past one day and there was a jousting comp happening.
Well,
That's not a joke.
It's
That
like
was
a
actually
medieval
happening
carnival.
in that park.
yeah. Well, I saw.
Actually, that's the same park also. They had that dress-up meet, like the Comic-Con thing, but they were all in like medieval stuff.
Were they? It's not
Yes,
the same
that
as the
was
jousting
no, that was
thing?
different. The jousting thing was a full-blown comp. The other was just a hookup, like a hang-up, hang out.
Hang up. So there's been a man that's been fascinating me that I've been seeing recently. In the dying bits of the sun, this is, of course, late summer, and so when it was staying dark later, I would see this man and he'd stand in the dying bits of the sun and he'd have his arms outstretched and he would be wearing what I would say a Genie Pants.
Yeah.
And then often no top, quite a rotund gentleman with a beautiful mustache that's curled up and waxed, and then quite a beard. And he just it started with him just standing and embracing the whole of the latter day sun.
It's beautiful, the latter day sun.
Well, then his moves started to escalate. So then I would go and I would see him every night, and then he would be standing on one leg, and he would have one leg kind of tucked up, and then sometimes he would be in a downward dog, and I would never see him change positions. Right. So
What do you mean? So the whole time you were at the park, he was in one position?
Yep. And I'd be there for...
How long could he hold a downward dog?
Because I take my dogs down there like half an hour, right?
Whoa.
Because I wouldn't stay near him. I'd go down to the other bit and come back, but he'd still be in the same position.
Even when he's standing on one leg?
Yep.
That's impressive.
For half an hour on one. I'm more interested in
Yeah.
the blood rushing to the head in the downward dog.
So you're not going to believe this, but I promise, hand on heart, it is true. So I hadn't seen him for a few weeks, and his moves did start getting harder and harder. And then I saw him on the weekend in the afternoon. I took my dogs down again in the dying bit of sun, and he was upside down on his head, right? On his head with his legs like stretched out kind of sideways, so kind of doing the hello boys but upside down, right? And he's on his head and he's doing a headstand but with his hands kind of wrapped around his head, and he's just on his head, right? And I walked over and I looked at him, and he looked me in the eyes and he said, "Nobody asks me any questions."
Funny.
Yes. And so
is he just doing it to see if people ask him what he's doing?
So I stopped and I said, "Does it hurt your head?" And he said, "Good question. Nope." And then I walked on.
Maybe he actually is a genie and you should have asked him more questions.
Carrie and Tommy. Carrie and Tommy.
Your Tuesday Arvo, it's Carrie Bickmore and Tommy Little.
Do Carrie Tommy know about songs and hits? When it comes to music, do they know their stuff? Have they paid attention to the music through the years? It's time now for the music trivia quiz. I said it's time now for the music trivia quiz.
Because, of course, the Big Five Marathon to raise money for your Carrie's Beanies for brain cancer and finding a cure for brain cancer through your brain cancer centre, which is leading the world in brain cancer research, is not far away. And so our music quiz this week is Big Five themed. What are the Big Five is my first question, not on the sheet.
They are lions, buffalo, elephants, No, I don't think it is. Oh, leopards? No.
Yeah,
Antelope?
I think it is.
No,
I think it's
leopards.
leopard and giraffe.
Is it giraffe? No,
It's
I
giraffe.
don't think
I
it's
don't know.
giraffe. Do you not have the answer of the question that you've asked?
No, that one
me?
wasn't on the sheet. I was just freestyling.
Do you know, Sammy, what it is? Rhino?
Rhino.
Is it rhino?
Oh,
Rhino, leopard, buffalo.
Is a hippo in there or nah?
No.
Elephant? I don't think elephant. Is it elephant?
Yeah,
it's
I think elephant.
Elephant line.
Yeah,
I don't
well
think
done.
I really know what buffalo looks like. Anyway, that's for me to Google in my own time.
Imagine,
They're the animals we're running amongst.
imagine buffalo kind of look like if a deer was on roids and then had horns.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
They had curly kind of
yeah.
horns.
Yeah.
They had
Got
like,
it.
you know, Princess Leia's hair?
Yes.
Imagine
yes,
that, but in
yes,
on a
yes,
horn.
yes. Okay.
Question number 1. The Wiggles cover of Tame Impala's Elephant is a delightful blend of psychedelic rock and children's music. Which Wiggles classic did they mix into the cover?
Which Wiggles classic?
Yes.
I think it's Yummy, Yummy Fruit Salad. Yummy,
Oh, that is
yummy.
correct. Well done.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy.
Very triggering for me.
Why?
Just the Wiggles. When I hear the Wiggles, I think I've spoken about this before. It does something deep in my soul.
Why something like that but not Bluey? Like, I'm assuming it's exposure.
I don't
You've
know
had
what
for
it is.
years.
I think Bluey just makes me cry, makes my heart melt. Wiggles served me so well in my life, and now I find it triggers me.
Fair enough. Question number 2. The very first version of The Lion Sleeps Tonight was by Solomon Linder in the 1930s, but it was made famous by American folk group The Tokens in the 60s.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
In the way.
In the jungle, the quiet jungle.
What a tune. Are we going to get to the best bit? This bit. I never know that bit, what they say.
How much did Solomon Linder originally sell the rights to the song for? Multiple choice. It is A, $2, B, $2,000, C, $200,000, or D, $2 million.
I reckon $2,000.
The answer is A, $2.
No way.
Yes.
Why?
But a 2000s legal battle eventually led to a settlement with Solomon's family receiving royalties finally.
Oh, good.
The original song, just a little fun extra fact, was titled Mbube. I'm going to go. The Zulu word for lion.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We might need that when we're over there.
The
Booby.
Mbube sleeps tonight.
If people don't understand that when you're running and you're going, booby, mboobe, mboobe.
Mbube.
People will be
Mbube, over
confused
in the
about
bushes.
what's up on the track.
Yeah, there's boobies in the bushes. Why are you running towards it? Which of the big 5 animals closely resembles the physical attributes sung in this song by Moose T?
Well, that would be the buffalo.
That is incorrect. It's the rhino.
Oh, really?
I probably, I did call them horns and they're antlers, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Whereas the buffalo's
Sorry.
got the big one at the front.
No, the rhino.
The
Don't do
rhino,
that with
sorry,
your
it's
hand.
got the big one at the front.
Carrie's making.
What?
Well, that used to be when we would call someone a dickhead in the.
Oh.
That's the hand motion we would use. The one you were doing just then. Did you
That's
not
just
know that was rude?
That's just a horn motion for a rhino.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shania Twain's leopard outfit in the music video of That Don't Impress Me Much was so iconic, it's now in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
That don't impress me much.
Which should, it's the Hall of Fame.
So you got
True or false? A leopard is in the top 10 fastest land animals.
No. False.
No. True or false?
No. False.
False is correct.
Yeah. I know a cheetah is.
A cheetah is the
Yeah.
fastest at almost 100k an hour. The kangaroo rounds out the top 10
Wow.
at 71k an hour, A leopard is only 12th at 58k an hour.
Did you see that kangaroo bounding along the freeway or the street or something? I feel like it was overseas. It wasn't
I think
in Australia.
it was in America or something,
I didn't
wasn't
know
it?
they had kangaroos there. I was so confused.
Did it get out of a zoo or something?
Oh.
Don't they have a lot of exotic animals over there, like as pets?
Oh.
True.
Yes.
Joey Exotic. No.
Oh, yeah, that's a great name for the kangaroo.
Zoe Exotic.
No, Joey.
Oh, yeah,
Joey.
it is. Joey.
Carrie and Tommy.
Rihanna has done it again, debuting her baby bump number 3 on the red carpet at the Met Gala. She looked incredible. I think she debuted baby number 2 at the Super Bowl halftime, and then she went to the Met Gala pregnant.
Do you remember that I loved the Super Bowl debuting of the baby bump because people said straight away, oh my God, she's pregnant. And then everyone was like, you can't say that about a woman and just assume. And then 2 seconds later, she's like, hey guys, yeah, I am pregnant.
It would have been a fun thing just to leave it and just watch the internet
And just consume itself,
up.
yeah.
Yes. She looks
she was
absolutely
so-
stunning. No one does a pregnancy reveal like her.
I
She was so what?
I agree. She was so obviously pregnant. Like as in she made sure her clothes went around her belly.
I
so
know, but it would be
exposed her
quite
pregnant
funny if
belly.
she wasn't, and she was just like trying to make a
I
point.
hope she does that one day. Like a huge performance.
I know,
just like
I agree. And then everyone
pretends.
goes, baby number 4, and she goes, that is outrageous.
Yeah.
Anyway, she has debuted. She's wearing a suit. A lot of the women were wearing like tailored outfits. Zendaya looked incredible. I think some of the others, I think fashion must be so hard each year to come up with something more hectic than you wore the year before. Like some of it is just like, what, why?
Carrie, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Because there's always a theme for the Met Gala. What was the theme?
So I thought there must be a reason all these women are wearing suits. So the dress code was tailored for you, which makes sense why everyone was wearing tailored suits. And the women looked awesome. A woman in a suit for me, hot. Love it. I love it better. And I've said this before on air. I don't find, and I know this is amusing given I do go to red carpet events in dresses, I don't find a woman in a red carpet dress hot. I find a woman in a suit hot, and I find women in activewear hot. But weirdly, in a beautiful woman in a like ball gown doesn't do it for me.
But Carrie, don't you think this is because you're a straight woman?
No, because I think I often perv out women. I often find women beautiful. I think women are so beautiful in all of their forms. I love nothing more than a pregnant
not a
woman.
ball gown.
But just in a ball gown, for some reason, it doesn't do it for me. It's so weird. Anyway, back to the Met. Just had a moment. Back to the Met. But the whole theme of the gala this year was super fine tailoring black style. And it's not just referencing the tailored suits that the women wore. It's a nod to their exhibition that's on at the Met, which is all about it says centering the exhibit centres on black style over the past 3 centuries through the concept of dandyism. And I had no idea what dandyism is. And apparently dandyism, the idea of it grew in the post-emancipation era, and former slaves and servants took it on by dressing in sharp suits, polished shoes and accessories like hats and ties as a form of assertion by assimilation. They used it as a sort of defiant declaration against confinement, a celebration of black identity, and a movement based around resistance, pride and history. And their desire was not only to look good, but make a statement about their identities. And that's why they'd wear all these out there suits and the top hats and all those things.
Cool.
Yeah, so cool.
Carrie and Tommy.
Across Australia for your Tuesday Arvo, it's Carrie Bickmore and Tommy Little.
It's time for Bickmore's Bits.
Here we go now.
Yep. Family feuds. We've got to talk about them. There's 2 I want to talk about and find out more about. One is what's going on with the Beckhams at the moment. But firstly, I want to talk about Prince Harry. So he sat down with BBC to do an interview now that the court, you know how he was trying to go back to live into the UK, but to do that he needs his security. But a court ruling meant that the government was going to scale back his taxpayer-funded security detail. He appealed it and the judge dismissed his appeal. So
because I have a slightly different read on the situation.
And I could be wrong. That's what I thought the top line was. What did you think it was?
So the news article I saw was that he won't be provided with a security detail when he comes back to the country just to visit. It had nothing to do with him coming back to live, and everybody has been abusing him and Meghan Markle and the family because they're saying, like, of course, mate, you left the job, you don't get a security detail. The reason I felt sorry for him is because he was never asking for it for free. He just wanted to pay for it, but it to be an option, because the laws that they have in the UK, he can't bring his own security in. They're not allowed to carry weapons. And so the only way he can have a security detail, even if he pays for it, is to get the court to approve.
And they wouldn't approve.
And they wouldn't approve. So he wasn't asking for anything for free. All he was asking for was his own security detail that he paid for. There'd be no taxpayer.
And sorry, he doesn't
money.
want to live there, but he does want to bring his kids back to visit often. He said, I can't see a world now in which I could bring my wife and kids back to the UK at this point. I miss so much the UK. I think it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, you know, my children, you know, where I used to live and all of that. But what he goes on to talk about, and we've been having some slight conversations off air here because producer Belle doesn't have the same sympathy for Harry that I have. But he was talking about the fallout that he's had with his dad.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile.
What is the king doing? It's your kid. Think of everything that he went through with Diana. He grew up in this world, in this spotlight. Sure, he might have views that you don't share about what protection he, you know, needs, and he may have managed his private life in a way you don't agree with. But you brought up him in a world where he doesn't have any normal sense of what a private or public life is. Of course, he may not make decisions that are kind of what we all think are good decisions. The poor kid lost his mum. Like, you're his dad. Get over yourself and speak to your son. It is your son. What are you doing? Like, it makes me, like, everyone looks at this, Belle, this is how I feel about it. Everybody looks at this man like his decisions are all crafted and preconceived and contrived. He was just a kid that lost his mum, that grew up in a very, very public nature. They didn't ask for that. He was born into it, and everyone says, oh, well, he's lucky. He got all the good things that come with it. Cool. Two things can be true at once. He got all those good things, but also it gave him a warped view of the world and his place in it and his safety and all of that. His mum died in a tunnel with paparazzi chasing him. What part of this? Like, none of it makes sense. It makes me so cross.
I will preface this by saying I hate the monarchy in general, so I have no horse in the race in terms of that. But I also think the layered thing to it is if his mum had the security detail that he's asking for and asking to pay for,
that she may still be here.
Yeah.
Why do you not
Annabelle,
have the same sympathy for him, Belle?
I find it hard to sympathise and feel sorry for him when literally in the same breath of him saying, I want to reconcile with my dad, he's then in an interview outing his dad and saying he won't speak to me. Like, I just find the behaviour quite immature, and he literally wrote the book Spare and just like slammed his whole family and the monarchy and really tore
So you can
them all to
only
shreds.
speak publicly positively about your family.
I think
even
if
they've
you
hurt
genuinely want reconciliation, stop bringing your family down and outing
But what
them.
if the world thinks that the problem with the reconciliation is that his fault? Meghan and him don't want to speak to the family. Meghan and him are living over there because they hate the family. Sometimes he's maybe needing to stand up for himself to let the world know, I'm not the reason we can't reconcile. I've tried, so I know you all think that we've run away and don't care about you. We do, but they're not responding.
Maybe.
I just think we can't understand what it's like to have families turn on us and then expect we're meant to just go on saying, but it's good, it's all cool. Like, imagine your family just turned on you.
I know, but he wrote a book about them.
But also, I guess, why does he want
Not
it?
before they turned on him. Do you know what I mean?
Why does he want to reconcile with old Chipolata
That's
fingers?
a good question too.
Because it's still his dad. You can't get away from the fact that it's still his father. Like, of course you want...
Yeah, I imagine you'd be desperate for some connection to your family because of losing your mum when you're so young, and it's so tricky. And so he's like, oh, look, Dad's a nightmare, but it's something.
Of course. And like, it's even like his brother, the relationship with his brother. Like, it's not perfect. I totally hear what you're saying, but I just think it's just so sad when he was just a kid that lost his mum and now is just trying his best. It just makes me sad.
Maybe they should sort it out behind closed doors, though.
Maybe.
Was the BBC interview paid?
Good Good question. I can look
It
into
makes
it.
it interesting, doesn't it?
I don't reckon it would have been.
Well, that's an emphatic note to finish on.
Follow Carrie Bickmore and Tommy Little on socials at Carrie Tommy Show.
Bye.
Bye. Carrie and Tommy love a good deal, and CommBank Yellow has plenty. Cashbacks, discounts, and exclusive deals. Just for banking with CommBank. Say hello to CommBank Yellow today.